What's your Wickes family? So I wanted to do a little video just to talk about why talking is really important. And there are lots of reasons why we don't share. It might be conditioned into us from young. We might have come from that family and that environment where people didn't really share feelings. So it might feel pretty alien to us in our adult life because we didn't really have an example that showed us how to do that. We might also feel that people would judge us as being weak or vulnerable, particularly sensitive. I mean, we're all vulnerable, but whether we show it or not is, I guess, the question. Will it affect our friendships, relationships? Will it affect something in the workplace? Do I jeopardize my job by telling people that there's something going on in my life? I think the last reason is that we're worried about how it's going to be received. So, you know, if something's difficult for us and we actually pluck up the courage to share it and then someone volleys it back in a defensive manner or tells us why we're wrong, then actually we're making the feeling worse. So we want to feel like we're sharing it with someone who's safe, someone who's not going to judge us for how we feel, and will actually just listen without giving us any advice, any opinions, and just basically hear us out. I think when we don't share how we feel, then we're relying heavily on our ability not to overthink things into being bigger than they actually are. When we don't share, things can actually cascade, they can grow out of proportion. So I think it's a big risk to take to keep things locked up or just swimming around in our own mind, because they're going to grow typically. And we feel when we let things out, we get a sense of scale and realizing that the mountain that we've created in our mind actually wasn't as big or as detrimental as we thought it was. Another risk that we're taking if we don't allow ourselves to heal, and if we do suppress things that are pretty difficult for us from the past, is that these things can manifest themselves physically. When you think of all the things that can go wrong with the body, how many of those are on account of the fact that we didn't really look after the mind or heal the heart? So that's definitely not a risk that I would want to take, or anybody else that I care about. One of the biggest gains from sharing is the connectedness that you experience. It strengthens bonds and relationships between family members, friends. The more you share with people, the more you trust, the more you open up to them, the more likely you're going to receive the same from them. And I think the best friends, the best relationships are forged by ones that have been through things that are difficult, as opposed to, you know, when we go out we have a right laugh. That's part of it, but I think when you share things with people and you know that you can lean on each other, that's far more important. A lot of people get this one back to front, but sharing your vulnerability, it's not weak, it's the opposite. It's an absolute superpower. You are the strong one if you're willing to be able to take your vulnerability, whatever's difficult for you, take ownership of it and show it to people. You know, even though we might be concerned about judgment or, you know, what their response will be, the truth is that's the reality, and we're willing to live in the reality instead of suppress it and deny it and pretend it doesn't exist. That's strength, when you're able to share it.